Well, protests taking place both in Jammu and also in Budgam. We're looking at those pictures there. The Kashmiri Hindu Pandits who are now out on the streets, they are outraged, they are angry, they are demanding answers, saying that how many more sacrifices do they need to make? Ishan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, please go ahead and give us the details. Of course, the protests also taking place. We're looking at pictures that are coming in from Jammu, from Budgam, and there is a lot of anger on part of the Kashmiri Hindu community.
Well, let me start by answering your previous question first. There's a small wall on the backside of that, office from where these militants seem to have entered. It's a climbable distance wall, and it's an easy route to enter and exit that particular office building, because on the other side there is a residential area through which they have managed to escape. Why didn't they choose the main road? Because there might be CCTV cameras, there might be police deployment. It's in the main market that this Tehsil office is located. So that is why they tactically use the backside, which essentially indicates the fact that they might have recceed and known the routes to exit after firing at him. Because being it a busy market, there is every possibility that police might reinforce and come soon. So they use the backside to enter and exit after firing at him. Now, to second question, since yesterday we have seen for the first time ever since the fresh targeting of Kashmiri Pandits has started, Kashmiri Pandits have come out on roads not just in Srinagar or Budgam, but also in South Kashmir and North Kashmir, which essentially indicates that across Kashmir, for the first time ever since these fresh targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits and Hindus have started, now the Kashmiri Pandits have hit streets. They are planning to march even today. They had initially planned to march towards the LG's residence to show resentment and protest against the failure of administration in protecting Kashmiri Pandits who have been brought to Kashmir under PM's package for precisely resettling them in Kashmir. But despite living in a highly secured colony, it becomes difficult for them to go out to work in their offices, and we saw yesterday how militants barged inside his office and shot him from a very close range, and that is precisely something concerning. Previously we saw top officials from the intelligence, army, police regrouping and trying to formulate a strategy as to how to stop these killings. But despite a brief lull, there was a brief lull wherein these killings had stopped or targeting was stopped, but yesterday we saw another incident of such nature taking place. Now, what will be the strategy of the police to deal with these will be something which is interesting. We have seen in the past as well, at the places like Shopia, Pulwama or parts of South Kashmir where most of these attacks have taken place. But by and large, Chardora and Budgam have been peaceful as compared to the other districts, and that is why it becomes tricky on part of the police to actually reassess other areas as well wherein Kashmiri Pandits are settled, for example Baramulla or other areas where these colonies have been made under PM's package to bring back Kashmiri Pandits. Now, there are protests and anger. They are sitting on the roads in Budgam, protesting against the DC Budgam for not transferring him from that particular location. And they had yesterday met the divisional commissioner and conveyed a message for the Lieutenant Governor Amit Shah and the Prime Minister, asking him to deliver his message, because they were very angry at the fact that they claim that the governments have been using them continuously for vote banks, while as innocent Kashmiri Pandits still get targeted in parts of Kashmir, and that is something which is concerning, and that is why we saw them staging protests against even the current political dispensation. Absolutely.
The protesters have several demands that they have put forth as well, and Pradeep has been talking to the family members as well on what their demands are. Sohail, as you were telling us, these protests are going on, but this is an anger that the community has felt for a long time now, because they know that this is a targeted killing. This was not just another incident. This could be the first in a series of incidents that have taken place. Just last month, another incident that had taken place, yet again Kashmiri Hindu being targeted. So they have put forward some demands asking the government to give in.
Well, the Kashmiri Pandit community, in fact, those employees who are working here under Prime Minister's migrant package, did cooperate with the administration from past many years, because they were understanding the situation here. Now, the incident that took place yesterday in Budgam is shocking, given the fact that this killing has taken place inside the office premises, inside, in fact, the room where Rahul Bhat was working as clerk for in Tehsil office Chardura. Now, the Pandit community is very upset with the administration. They are angry. They are protesting. We have seen last evening protests taking place in Budgam, in Kazigund, Vesu, in Pulwama. In fact, in Sheikhpura, they blocked this Budgam Srinagar road. Still protest happening there at the moment. Many more protests are planned in Srinagar as well. Those Kashmiri Pandit employees have also threatened to move to Raj Bhavan, Srinagar. They will be protesting there. Last night, we have also they demanding that the LG Manoj Sinha be asked to visit this spot. They were angry because the original administration, like divisional commissioner or other top officers, also couldn't visit this spot immediately. So now the deputy commissioner Budgam and other senior police officers who visited the spot had to face these Kashmiri Pandits given because the family what is alleging is that Rahul Bhat was transferred and then he was posted in Chadura. Since then, this family has been approaching Deputy Commissioner Budgam and seeking his transfer. Now, Kashmiri Pandits, they are demanding that and simply asking basic questions. Why they are being killed? Because they had come to Kashmir again under this employment package. They want to serve this society. This is a basic question these Kashmiri Pandits are asking, and at the same time that they be provided safe and secure security and sense of security. In fact, here we have also Kashmiri Pandit employees who are demanding that the government has not been able to provide them the safe accommodation. Some are living in rented rooms in South Kashmir's Mutton area, where Anantnag district, in fact, also where we have seen these Kashmiri Pandits living in rented accommodation. They are most vulnerable people who could be attacked. There's a general threat issued against all Kashmiri Pandits, in fact, Kashmiri Pandit employees. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3-point plans of Government of India's plans. One is the rehabilitation of Kashmiri Pandits. This rehabilitation has actually started. Some amount of land has been transferred for establishing colonies, and this is why it has clicked. Then there is a pro-Kashmir agenda of Government of India where tourism is being prioritized, is where we have seen the investment is coming from UAE countries, those delegations visiting Kashmir, and all those factors when are clubbed, and it looks like that Kashmir is marching towards peace and progress. That's why these groups, these outfits get unnerved and they start targeting innocent civilians. As I mentioned, 3 category people are being targeted. One is Kashmiri Pandit, the other is the Panchayat representatives, because they are on ground, they are working for the Government of India, they are working for the people of Jammu and Kashmir in villages, they are being targeted. Then there is non-local labor who is coming here to earn his livelihood. They are being targeted to send out a message that no businessman will be allowed here to start his business. So after the abrogation of Article 370, these attacks have actually intensified. These attacks taking place, Kashmiri Pandits being targeted, non-local laborers being targeted, Panchayat representatives being targeted, and of course, Jammu and Kashmir, that is in fact the police force on ground fighting on front line. We have seen those Jammu and Kashmir police corps, in fact the SPOs who visit their homes and they are being targeted. Several police officers have lost their lives. Now, the fact is that security forces in Jammu and Kashmir, Army, CRPF, Jammu and Kashmir are working with each other. They are fighting this militancy from last many years. In fact, we have seen in last month they have intensified its operations against those militant outfits, especially the Lashkar-e-Toiba group, wherein they have killed those